What if Naruto had Friezas' potential, part 10. As Naruto stands waiting for the matches to be announced, he notices something that wasn't explained, or that he can't explain. There seemed to be one person down, that being Dosu, who, unknown to everyone else, was killed by Gaara just days ago, which brings their total of competitors to 8. How fortunate for the original Naruto series to solve this little problem for us. I put the names into a wheel picker so the fights get announced as follows. Neji vs Sakura, Kankuro vs Shikamaru, Gaara vs Shino, Sasuke vs Naruto. Neji and Sakura both get called to the fighting stage, with the rest of the genin jumping up to the balcony to watch, with Naruto making his way over to Hinata. As he hadn't seen her for a full month, they had a lot to catch up on. And let's put it this way, a makeout sesh was definitely long overdue. The fight begins with Neji and Sakura both showing the proper respect, using the seal of confirmation, which made the Leaf Shinobi smile seeing this. Sakura starts by throwing kunai, which Neji dodges easily, then catching one of them and throwing it back towards her. Sakura dodges the kunai, with Neji closing the gap, trying to end the fight quickly, knowing that he needs to keep his promise and make Gaara pay for what he did to Lee. But Sakura also had the same thought in her mind, along with the rest of the Leaf Shinobi. She threw a huge haymaker at a speed that surprised Neji, who had to block, feeling the force of the blow, even giving him a hairline fracture in his arm. Knowing that he, for some reason, has to take this fight seriously, he activates his Byakugan, watching Sakura's chakra network intently, seeing that her chakra control had grew to an even greater degree than it was only a month ago. To Neji, her chakra looked like a calm flowing river, entering parts of her body at will, perfectly, enhancing the force of her attacks. Sakura, seeing how the veins on the side of his head were bulging, knew that Neji was using his Byakugan and focused extremely hard on her, which she smiles. When Neji asks why she's smiling, he gets hit in the back of the head by a shadow clone of Sakura who had transformed into one of the kunai. He gets sent across the arena towards the real Sakura, who threw her arm back, delivering a devastating punch to Neji's jaw, which put Neji out of the fight, making Sakura the winner. If Naruto can do it in the main line by just hitting him from out the floor, I think a stronger version of Sakura could as well. Everyone was surprised, especially Neji, who was on the floor, breathing very heavily. Sakura helped him to his feet, with Neji congratulating her on coming so far and becoming so powerful in such a short amount of time. She was nearly brought to tears when she looked up to see Sasuke, and he had a huge smile on his face. The same can be said with Naruto. Next up is Kankuro vs Shikamaru, and to be honest, I don't see this fight being that eventful. I just see Shikamaru using Shadow Possession on either the puppet and using that to fight against Kankuro, and Kankuro can't do anything because he uses puppets. Or using Shadow Possession on Kankuro and making him use the puppet to knock himself out. And the fight would probably be over very quickly. So yeah, to me, Shikamaru is the winner of the fight. Next is Gaara vs Shino. The fight starts with Gaara sending out a sand spear towards Shino, with Shino sending out bugs to devour the chakra inside of the particles, making the sand drop to the floor, as the bugs continue making their way towards Gaara, slightly stronger than before from having just eaten. Gaara then makes a sand clone and kills some of the bugs by squashing them in between his hands, which made Shino insanely angry. I mean, he has a symbiotic relationship with the bugs. Not wanting to sacrifice any more, he doesn't send them out to fight, but instead Shino pulls out a kunai and rushes towards the sand clone, slicing it, which appeared to do nothing. But again, the sand loses all of its chakra and drops to the floor. Seeing that, Shino covered his kunai with tiny bugs, nearly imperceivable. Shino jumps towards Gaara, sorry, I can't speak, but unfortunately, a huge torrent of sand hits Shino from the side, with enough force to drive him into the wall, leaving a Shino-shaped dent in it, knocking him out. I wish there was a way of Shino winning this fight, but against Gaara at this point in the story, I mean, Shino wasn't really training that much. I don't really see it. He doesn't have that many Aburami to train with. Really, I think they're all on missions for Danzo and assassinations. Gaara looks up at the stands, and a cold shiver goes down his spine as he sees all of the Leaf Genin looking down on him with complete rage. But in the centre was something far worse. Naruto was stood staring at him, seeming deathly calm apart from his chakra, which was emanating from his body, slowly creeping around his body, creating armour. Out of complete fear for his life, Gaara creates his sand dome and starts manifesting Shikaku, while the Genjutsu descends upon the crowd, putting most of them asleep, apart from the ninja. Well, Shikamaru goes to sleep, but that's nothing to do with the Genjutsu, he just goes to sleep. He didn't have time to deal with this, and to be honest, Shikamaru, I feel you, mate. I feel you. Naruto, Sasuke and Neji jump down to the arena, ready to take Gaara down, but the moment they all stand in front of the dome, a very long, wide and hideous arm shoots out through the sphere, smacking Neji away and nearly hitting Sasuke. The sand used to create the dome collapses around Gaara, who looks frighteningly different, having entered his half Shikaku state. He lunges towards a nearby wall, smashing right through it and into the forest, making sure to throw up some of the debris and towards Sasuke and Naruto, as those were his two targets. He needed to at the very least, distract them and get them out of the village for Orochimaru's plans to succeed. While chasing after Gaara, 10 sound ninja at the same time use different elemental releases against Naruto to slow him down. 1-on-1 against Sasuke, Gaara should be able to win. But this was a huge mistake, as Naruto became even more enraged and completely entered his cold state. The armour actually had spikes rising from the shoulders and the forearms. Aside from being the most intimidating thing the Sound Ninja had seen in their life, it did make Naruto a hell of a lot stronger, at the cost of some of his self-control. Naruto shoots forward, too fast for any of them to comprehend, with Naruto's now razor-sharp arms piercing through all of them one by one. Stood in a pool of blood, seeping from the plethora of bodies, Naruto hears loud chirping sounds, almost as if multiple birds were flying overhead, or at least nearby. Naruto runs in that direction, as it was where Sasuke and Gaara were going, and sees Sasuke with a palm full of lightning, running straight into Gaara and severing his newly formed tail. Gaara screams out in pain and aims multiple sand spears at his opponent, but before he manages to send them, he gets hit with a huge kick from Naruto, creating the sound of a thunderclap echoing around the forest. When Gaara gets up, shakily, he turns round, seeing Naruto and Sasuke stood there opposing him. Sasuke with his Sharingan and curse mark activated, and Naruto in his true cold state. Even in his half Shikaku form, Gaara was terrified. So much so, he goes against his true instincts of killing and tries to run away. But this was pointless, as Naruto, who had seen the Chidori, threw Sasuke like a spear, while Sasuke activated a new Chidori, slicing through the sand and grabbing Gaara by his throat. Gaara, while trying to breathe, asked them how the hell they became so strong, by not killing anyone. And in a weird turn of events, Sasuke is the one who tells him. He tells Gaara that they became strong by training with each other, all aiming for the same, seemingly impossible goal of surpassing Naruto. Naruto smiles to himself, thinking that they never will. After the taught no jutsu from Sasuke, Gaara then passes out, and the events go the same from here until they get back to the village. As Naruto and Sasuke jump back over the wall, they see bodies all over the place, mostly Sound and Sand Shinobi, with Guy, Asuma and Kakashi just finishing off the rest. Kakashi asks where the Hokage is, and then they heard a huge class of jutsu coming from a nearby roof. Getting a closer look, they see Orochimaru, locked in battle with a third Hokage, while Jiraiya was fighting against two others, which are then identified as the first and second Hokage. As they get closer, they see Hiruzen use the Shadow Clone Jutsu, then make hand signs for another jutsu. Kakashi's eyes grow wide, recognizing the hand seals from Kushina, while she was teaching Minato the Death Reaper seal, or Reaper Death Seal, it's one or the other. He tells this to his group and explains what the jutsu does. At that moment, Naruto re-enters his cold state and smashes through the barrier like it was nothing. It wasn't even there. But it was already too late. Hiruzen had hold of the two previous Hokage and Orochimaru, making them look almost paralysed. But from the perspective of Orochimaru, his soul was being pulled from his body, resisting as much as possible. However, Hiruzen still manages to pull out his arms and seal them away before losing all of his strength and passing on. Although Jiraiya is stricken with grief, he knows that his teacher had a job that he nearly finished, and he can't let him die in vain. He rushes Orochimaru with a kunai in hand, slashing at whatever body part he could. Blood flying everywhere, body parts flying, until he finishes it with a Rasengan, sending him to the other side of the village. Kabuto rushes over and picks up the near-lifeless body of Orochimaru and summons a giant snake to ride on while healing his master to the best of his abilities. Jiraiya was going to go after them, but sees Naruto falling into a pit of despair, and through disbelief, literally falling off the building as his chakra control waned. Jiraiya grabs Naruto before he falls, and without a word being spoken, he knows that Naruto was blaming himself for not being fast enough. Jiraiya tells him otherwise, but Naruto says nothing. He just stands up and walks home completely silent, trying to stop himself from crying, as a shinobi should never show their emotions. Once he gets home, he sees Hinata there waiting for him, happy to see that he's okay. Naruto only gives a half smile seeing her, which told her that something was very wrong. When asked, he tells Hinata that he was too late to save the old man. He sits down next to her, trying to remain stoic, but being around the one person he loves more than anything, his true feelings rise to the surface. Sadness and frustration overcome him, and he starts punching the floor repeatedly while crying, making a rather large dent, bursting into tears completely, then curling up into a ball, while Hinata sat there pulling his head onto her lap as she held him in complete silence, knowing that all she can do right now is be there for the one she loves. I'm going to leave it here for now, and if you like the video, might as well hit a like on it and subscribe if you haven't already. And if possible, if you know anyone, share to people who like this kind of thing, I guess. But with that being said, as always, I'll see you later. Bye.